there we are. Ladies and gentlemen, I am just about an hour and a half late from when I said I was going to go live. And for those of you who know me, an hour and a half is just about on time. We had a little technical difficulties here today, and anyway, we're rolling. And I am doing a pineapple upside down cake because it feels like we're getting close to summertime with some of this weather. And here on day 32 of quarantine times, is it day 32? It's day 32 of quarantine times. I'm just checking in with all of you out there to see how you are feeling at this point. And have you wanted to really go insane with your partner, whoever's out there? It could go either way. I guess it could go like bliss times or God, I can't stand you times. So who do I see here? Because life is upside down. I know. Thank you, Kenzo is on. Kenzo! Oh my God, that makes me so happy. When I look at the screen and I see that people are watching, it is so good. And before we get started making some boozy cherries, I want to make a toast. Thank you, Ken, for joining in, because life is upside down right now. And but we're making it. So, what? Looking what? That way? What? I'm looking that way. I am looking that way. I'm looking. Cheers. Cheers. I did do a cheers. Cheers to you. Cheers to them. What? My magical assistant is giving me something that's like really important. I don't know. Cheers to this. Oh, cheers over here to this camera. We got cameras all over the place. Cheers. Day 32 quarantine times. Pineapple upside down cake. All right, we got that piece. And Megan is watching. Megan, I'm so glad you're watching. Because I'm making a gluten-free, dairy-free pineapple upside down cake in my cast iron skillet. And I made this the other day and I discovered that I really need to bake the pineapple a little bit more, because I want it to get soft. I don't want it to be hard. There's nothing like biting in your cake and it's like a spongy, great cake, but the pineapple is not all the way cooked. And she says, hi. Yeah, I want to get started on this recipe, but I also want to say something. What do I want to say? I want to say something important. Oh, it's got to be a song. It's got to be a song. We live not to divide, but to unify. Come ease your mind with these good meditations. You could be the one in a million. If you ever see the shadows on the mountains that you've been living under for so long, don't you ever wonder where it all comes from. That song's been stuck in my head. Anybody who knows that song, you better put it up right now, and you're going to get a delivery of pineapple upside down cake if you can tell me who the artist is of that song, and I'll sing another piece in a bit. And Julie is watching. Julie, thank you so much. And I feel like these are my peeps late at night who are hanging in to see what the heck is going on. I miss you too. I can't wait till we can have some more jam sessions and singing together, because singing and dancing is so important right now, to just let it all out. So, back to the recipe. Okay, so this is a pineapple upside down cake, which I'm going to make in my cast iron skillet. But you could also make it in a springform pan, and if you didn't have that, you could use a glass pie pan or any kind of pie pan. You just want to make sure that your caramel at the bottom has a lot of butter or oil so that it flips up and looks gorgeous. I am using coconut oil because this is a dairy-free recipe, but most of your recipes are going to call for butter. I just choose coconut oil because I find that at this time, and it is my passion to go for the most healthy option. So, but it is completely up to you. And I just want to say that raw extra virgin coconut oil is going to be the healthier option. And Parrish is watching. The way you wear your hair, the way you sip your tea, the memory of all that, no, they can't take that away from me. That's right. Thinking about you, buddy. And how everybody out there who is an artist and a performer shares their heart and magic with everyone. And during this time when no one's performing, and who knows when we're going to be performing, it's so hard to not be able to share. So I hope that you're putting up a show right now as well, Parrish, so that I know that you are also putting your heart out. And also, baby! I see you, baby. Got you. All right, back to the recipe. Okay, so this recipe is going to start with pineapple and brown sugar and butter in the pan, but I've decided to make it coconut oil, coconut sugar in the pan, of course, because I'm freaking big on coconut. And recently, I received a shipment, thank you, for this shipment of this incredible coconut sugar. Out of all the coconut palm sugar, I want to say Tierra Sol is killing it. This is different. It tastes different. It's excellent. This is my winning choice. Big Tree Farms or Tierra Sol. Somebody give me a sponsorship. I'm ready. All right, so what I have to start this recipe, though, is that we need to take our pineapple, put it in the pan with the caramel sauce. And I have the pineapple in the oven because what I discovered is I want my pineapple partially cooked before I do this. Partially baked. Very important. So I use fresh pineapple. Most recipes call for canned pineapple. I'm a weirdo. I don't like canned stuff. Somebody post something, show coming as soon as I can resurrect. Okay, you better, because we all need to hear a little Frank right now, okay? We need you, Parrish. This is partially cooked, partially baked, I'd rather say. And I'm about to throw it in the pan with the sugar. The recipe that I am using, amongst many, is 6 tablespoons of butter, or I'm going to use 6 tablespoons of oil, and 3/4 cup light brown sugar. I'm using coconut sugar, of course, of course. So I wonder if the camera can follow me over there. Camera, can you follow me all the way over to the stove? And see who else is watching. Sabri is watching. Hey, buddy. You roll one up for me, buddy. Okay, so this is, oh my God, I lost you here. Come with me. Come with me. We're going to do this. I'm going to take the ingredients. We're going over to the stove. What is this called for? 3/4 cup. Okay, I got you. I got you. All right. So, in your iron skillet, and even if you are not using an iron skillet, you're using a springform pan or a pie dish. I feel like I need to get this over here a little bit. Hello, everybody. Yes. This is my oven. Welcome to my kitchen, by the way. Welcome to my kitchen, by the way. So we're doing 6 tablespoons of coconut oil, my fat of choice, but you could use butter. Butter is so tasty. But we need to think about our health at this time. So this is a little bit different, how it plays out in your body. Coconut oil. Please look it up, because I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionalist. Well, I am, but I'm not. So 6 tablespoons, and I'm just doing it like this, because if I get it all over my hands, that's great. 4 or 5, and we'll call that 6 tablespoons of coconut oil. Bada bing, bada boom, right? Okay, so that's on. I want to make the caramel sauce first. And if you have extra oil, just apply generously. All right, so that's in there. I'm heating my oil, and then I'm going to add 3/4 cups of coconut sugar. And once technical difficulties, once I create a caramel sauce in here, just let the sugar and the butter, or the sugar and the oil, melt a little bit. Place your pineapple. And then we're going to add the cherries. And I decided that I want to make some boozy cherries tonight. I'm watching this. I'm not going to let this explode. Don't worry. That's happened. That has happened. For boozy cherries, okay, so I just got frozen cherries, which was amazing. It's hard to get frozen cherries. And Scott Anderson is watching. Hello, Mr. Anderson. So these are just frozen cherries in here, which whatever you have left over, this makes a good Manhattan. A little Maker's Mark, happen to have it. Not a bad thing. I'm just going to pour a little bit in to my cherries. Looks like a couple tablespoons. And you don't have to make boozy cherries, by the way. It can be just regular. I'm watching my pan. I'm using maple syrup to sweeten them up. But whatever you don't use, this is really nice in a beverage, which I'd like to show you afterwards. Yes, Servy's asleep. What? Okay, she's missing the boozy cherries. This is frozen cherries, Maker's Mark, and maple syrup. Good idea. So, oh God, that's good. Oh God, that's good. That tastes like a Manhattan in a bowl. All right, so what we have is, what we have is 6 tablespoons of coconut oil melted, and then 3/4 cup of the coconut palm sugar, or whatever brown sugar if you have. That's the traditional. And then this is such an Americana recipe. 2, 3. I feel like it was probably popular in the 70s or something. I don't know. I want to look it up afterwards. This seems like a lot of sugar. That was a lot. That was 3/4 cup. I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking, that's a lot. It's a lot. And I'm going to cook this in my cast iron. So I want to have some fat all the way on the sides too. And my coconut sugar has just absorbed all of that. So that doesn't make me too happy. I'm just going to coconut oil the sides of the pan. The big thing about this, I'm watching you. The big thing about pineapple upside down cake is to make sure that it flips out super sexy right onto your tray. Like you're going to flip it out, and the bottom is your top, and you want it to look gorgeous. The bottom is your top, and Caroline's watching. Hello, Caroline! I miss you. And she will watch tomorrow. I hope so. So this is happening, but it's not melting the way I want. I'm thinking that if you did butter, it would be different. If you did brown sugar, it would be different. This is still going to work. Do not lose hope when times are tough, ladies and gentlemen. Try again. Look at me trying to be the spokesperson of, enthusiasm, the silver lining queen, the coach of the bright side. Okay, so this is supposed to melt. You want your brown sugar and butter or coconut oil and thing to melt for a couple of minutes. And then you're going to place the pineapple on it and put your boozy cherries in there and decorate that. But this is so not melting for me right now. I think it's because I added a little bit too much sugar. So I would revise this. 6 tablespoons of coconut oil to a 1/2 cup of coconut sugar. That might be the move. But just as in life, we figure out things as we go, because you really don't know until you made a mistake. If you made a mistake, then you learn. That's how I learn. I don't know. How do you learn? How do you learn? And Shredder's watching. Yes! I'm so excited. Okay, I will. Oh my God, when I look up and I see my super peeps, I'm like excited. Hi, Shredder. That's my split screen star. She's watching. Okay, we're going to hit songs together, and it's a whole thing. I'm like very excited. In fact, we should have a jam after this, because I'll be very ready. This is looking like, actually I'm wrong. It's starting to melt, and the coconut oil is starting to absorb the sugar, which is really nice to see, and it's starting to look really cute. Okay, this is good. All right, so I'm going to turn it off because I don't know what's next. I don't know what's next. It's all an experiment here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so I want to let you know that it's up to you however you want to decorate your upside down cake. A lot of people like to use the Dole canned pineapple, and if that's all you have, that's fine. I have baked my fresh pineapple, which I cut. Jan is watching. Which I cut my pineapple, as you can see, and I used one of these little things that I had for my culinary set to pop out the core. Popped it out, and it looks like this. Good. Don't ever throw the core away. Tons of enzymes. Really good for you. But I'm going to make a little decoration with this. I like the halves. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna put the little round one in the middle, and then I'm gonna decorate around it the little halves and see what that looks like. Because this is gonna be the top of your cake, so you want it to look gorgy. And oh my gosh, when we can finally invite friends over for a barbecue, oh, I feel like we're all gonna do it at one time. As soon as shelter in place is lifted, we're all gonna have a party. And you know the party's gonna be going down over here. And you're invited, so that's what's happening. My house, everybody who comes over to my house knows they're gonna eat good. And I got a rep for that. Oh, I'm making it really cute right now. I like it. Okay, but I need a couple more slices here. I'm gonna cut this one. Stay with me, folks. Stay with me. And let's cut this baby. Here she goes. And there it is. Okay. So it's different every time. I like this one. This one's cute. This is what it's looking like so far. Can you guys see this? Okay, so I made a little round in the middle. Ooh. And now I'm going to get my boozy cherries and place them. I want to give you a piece. You already know that. All right. So you better come over. All right, so here's a cherry in the middle. Cheers to the cherry in the middle. And cheers over here. And it's so fun to know when your boss is watching. Okay, so here we go. I'm putting, you can do this however you like. I'm putting a little cherry in between every piece, because I think that's going to look super cute when it comes out, but it's totally up to you. And this is almost done. I feel like I'm going to drink this one. Oh my gosh. Okay, there it is. Now back to the recipe, baby. Back to the recipe. Well, that doesn't even look right like that. I don't like that. That's overkill. I'm going to eat that. Okay, that's what it's looking like. It looks like that. I've baked my pineapple a little bit. I've caramelized the oil and the sugar in the bottom. Whatever you're using, butter and brown sugar. Hopefully it's extra virgin raw coconut oil and coconut sugar, but either way, it's in there, it's caramelized, it's ready to go. So I'm cooling that down, and then I'm going to make the cake batter. Follow me. Look how I can do this. So this is cool. Let's see if I can get it all the way. Okay. All right, we're missing the lighting, but we're in here. All right, so for the recipe, baby, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. But wait a second, let me just take a libation break. For, my motto is detox to retox, because we know that, alcohol isn't necessarily the healthiest thing, and I choose to eat really clean and really healthy, but I also choose to have a little something in between, because I haven't seen any friends in so long. Cheers to you friends who are out there. I miss you so much. I can't wait to get together. We're going to have a big party over here. Cheers. To day 32 of reinventing, of centering yourself, of discovering things, and hopefully that you're not discovering things with having many fights in between. Are you guys having lots of fights? Seemingly, we're not having tons of fights here, but I thought we would. And yes, cheers. Cheers to you. I see some of my Berber family here watching, and I have to say that I am missing you guys all so much. And it feels not like 32 days. It feels like 320 days since I've been performing for you at my performance home, Berber, in San Francisco. And I know we're going to be back and going strong after this. I know everybody's going to come out to support the arts and to support live performance art after this little break, because they'll understand how important it is to support your fellow artists and performers. Right? Okay. Back to the recipe. So this recipe, now that we've caramelized that, we are going to do two things. This is our wet ingredients and our dry ingredients. And our dry ingredients is gluten-free flour. I have a couple different kinds here. Hello, Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1 and Arrowhead Mills. Very different, but kind of similar. Yes, it's true. I know, you know, we will be back. So it's 1.5 cups of gluten-free flour of your choice. Make sure that your gluten-free flour has xanthan gum, which xanthan gum is a weird thing. Can we talk about that? Should we break for that? I want to talk about what xanthan gum is. It's weird. Let's get a picture of it. Okay, so when you're doing gluten-free baking, if you make your own gluten-free flour, which would be probably a mixture of arrowroot, tapioca starch, rice flour, sorghum flour, millet flour, all of the things, you need the xanthan gum to help it to behave like a gluten-full flour. Or I have an interesting mixture, which in this recipe we're not using nut flour, but it is like 1/3 almond flour to 1/3 arrowroot powder to 1/3 coconut flour. Coconut, almond, arrowroot makes a nice mixture, but it's going to be dense if you don't use the xanthan gum. And so anyway, all those gluten-free bakers out there understand that. And for those of you who have recipes that they want to make into something and you're curious about how to do it, send me a message so I can heatherize your recipe and show you how it can work in any instance without the xanthan gum if need be. In this regard, I'm curious if I should use the Arrowhead Mills or if I should use the Bob's 1-to-1. My experience, Bob's is like really heavy, and I'm so curious about this other one. So I'm just going to be crazy and use Arrowhead Mills today. Bob, please forgive me. I'm so sorry. I fell in love with you the first time I looked into them their eyes. You have a certain little cute way of flirting with. Look, I still have my heels on. I know you're watching. Whoop, wait. There they are. Ah, okay. I'm going to do 1.5 cups of the Arrowhead Mills today because why not? And what you should know about flour and measuring flour, this is very important, is spooning it out. Don't do the general scoop it out because you're going to get a different amount. Some people say scoop it, I say spoon it, you know, potato, potato, tomato, tomato. So I'm going to spoon it in here. And we're doing 1.5 cups of the Arrowhead just because I'm crazy today. And I've been doing the Bob's for a while. So I just want to see what this one does. I don't even know. Baking is science. Baking is love. Baking is dedication to deliciousness. So here's 1 cup. And when this is all said and done, if anybody wants to back me on a bakery, I'm down. I'm down. I'm into it. I didn't ever really want to produce for the masses on a daily basis, but if I had a storefront, I'd be down. Okay, so this is 1.5 cups, and usually I would tap it and level it with an offset spatula. Make sure it's good. Okay, there's 1.5 cups. And then it is 2 tea. I tried out several recipes. I just want to let you know that I have this thing where I scroll through recipes, type in what you want. I scroll through all the recipes, read various different ones, and I pick one and revise it a bit. And then Yaki is watching. Yaki, how are you feeling? Oh my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, we have someone here who's watching who has recovered from COVID. And Iñaki, we are so happy that you are here with us and that you have recovered. Thank God you're here with us. So now you can learn how to make a pineapple upside down cake, which is clearly an important thing in life. So we have 1.5 cups of gluten-free flour, Arrowhead Mills, and now 2 teaspoons baking powder. If I have any measuring spoons here, oh, there, 2 teaspoons. Too hot. That's what the song went. Like, too hot, baby. Gotta run for shelter. Gotta run for shade. Oh, yes, it's too hot. Okay, 1 teaspoon. Whatever song comes to my mind. I'm still waiting for requests. Last week I took a request and I didn't even know the song and that went crazy. So 2 teaspoons baking powder and just a little extra, who knows? Okay, so there's that. And then 1/4 teaspoon of salt. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Here we go. Where's my 1/4 teaspoon? 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And Iñaki says, yes! Iñaki is joining us from Hawaii. And he is a champion windsurfer and yogi and dada and partner. Okay, so here we go. And fabulous friend. Okay, 1/4 teaspoon salt. And so this is basically, oh no, yeah, this is our dry ingredients. 1 and 1/2 cups gluten-free flour, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 2 teaspoons baking powder. Don't drink too much while you're cooking, you might forget. Okay, and now to the wet, to the dry, to the wet, to the dry, to the wet. And Sunny is watching too. Sunny is watching. Sunny Van Hetren is watching. One of my dearest and greatest friends who I would absolutely love to see in person. Give a big hug right now. So I'm just loving you here through the camera. And you're watching, so I'm blessed. So 6 tablespoons of oil are in here. Coconut, extra virgin raw coconut oil. And 1 cup of sugar. And here's something. So I made this pineapple upside down cake and I used regular coconut sugar. It came out brown and I thought it wasn't like, I wanted it to be more like yellow cake-ish. So I took my coconut sugar and just blended it a little bit, which made it a different color, which was cool. I was like, wow, okay. So you can do that. If you want to use a better sugar that's low glycemic, that digests in a better way for your body, that's healthier for us, it has more nutrients to it, coconut sugar is king. And if it is too brown for your recipe and you want your recipe to be a different color, you can throw it in your Vitamix or even your blender probably. And you can turn it into a different color because we just did that. And it's very different actually. It's, okay, this is almost a cup, babe. It's not all the way a cup. Oh my God, it's almost a cup. It's okay, we're gonna blend it. I'll just add a little bit more. So we did that and made it a little bit lighter, but since it is not enough, I'm gonna get the regular, which will be just fine. And I like it sweet, so I'm gonna go ahead and just add like a little bit. I had to do like a Momo thing. Woo. Anybody who's watching who knows Momo knows that she talks in riddles like that. Okay, so this is the oil and the sugar, and we're going to add 2 eggs and 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and then the pineapple juice. So we juiced some of the pineapple that was left over from cutting the rings, which I did use fresh pineapple, but you can use canned pineapple, and either way, it's good. And I think I need to say that coconut sugar is definitely a little drier because I just put the amount of fat in here that's supposed to go in here, and I put the amount of coconut sugar or sugar that's meant to go in here. And ideally, when you cream this together, it's going to be like wet and fluffy, but because it's oil and sugar, it's kind of not, which it should be, but it's not. It's just not. I'm sorry, I'm here to tell you. The other day I did a recipe for the pineapple upside down cake, and I separated the eggs and I whipped some egg whites and folded those in, which made a really nice spongy texture. And I thought, this is good, but it was still kind of like not the texture I wanted. So I'm hoping that this works out. And you know, trial and error. We go through ingredients, and ingredients are hard to come by at this point, so that's not cool. Hopefully this works out. I was going to blend it for you. I had the blender ready to rock, but it's coming out kind of like not moist and granular like I would think it would be. So, I don't know, maybe I'll add an extra egg in here. But at the end of the day, I need to post the recipe. I need to post the recipe. All right, so this right now is 1 cup of coconut sugar, 6 tablespoons of coconut oil, and then it calls for 1/2 a cup of pineapple juice and 1 teaspoon vanilla. So let's see if we can get this kind of more moist, because your wet is going to go into the dry, and right now this wet is looking so not wet. So 1 teaspoon of vanilla, which I like vanilla, so I'm going to do a lot more. And then the recipe does not call for cinnamon at all, but I think cinnamon is good, so I'm just going to, just a little extra for flavor. And so I got the vanilla in here, and now I'm going to do, I think it says add the eggs first and then the pineapple juice. Either way, it's going to all be in the same thing. So let's just do the pineapple juice. 1/2 cup pineapple juice. A lot of recipes call for the pulp as well. Either way, good. I think with the amount of sugar in here, this thing is going to be sweet. Which is okay, right? Is that okay? What do you think about that, Sunny? You guys got a lot of pineapples over there. So pineapple is easy to come by for you all. And on day 32, as we take time to take in some of the bad news that's happening out there, are you guys taking time to take in some of the good news? I want to reflect on some of the good news. And for any of you who are watching that would like to post your own insights, I would love to know what your own insights are on the good news of this situation. Because I've come up with a list of, in my mind, of course, I'm going to write these down, of what's beautiful about this situation happening so fast and just whiplash changing our lives. Beyond the obvious of spending time together and having to quiet down and really go inward, I'm looking to find out if there are any comments that you guys have about the positive impact that this pause in life has had for you, and how it's affecting your relationships, and how it's affecting what you see for yourself in your future. I would love to hear from any of you out there if you have some thoughts on that, because I could tell you mine. But I have to add the eggs. Okay, so this looks like a little curdled in here, but it's going to be okay. It's just the pineapple juice. So this calls for 2 eggs. A lot of recipes call for 3 to 4 eggs. And when I was looking through recipes, I have this thing where I look through recipes and I kind of decide based on what the ingredients are, what the texture might be like, and how I really want my yellow cake and the crumb to be. If I want it to be more dense, like a pound cake, if I want it to have more crumb, like a yellow cake, or if I want it to be somewhere in between. It all depends on your eggs and your fat. And there are a lot of recipes out there that don't call for any oil or any fat at all, just more eggs. So it's a trade-off. Either way, I need a whisk. I need a whisk. I need a, oof, I can think of a lot of things I need right now. I need garbanzo beans. Why can't I find beans? They just don't exist in the market anymore. I don't know. So I put 2 eggs in here. And, of course, you could order it. Everybody's ordering things. And that's interesting, because then a package comes to your door. Then you have to think about all that. And there's a whole process there. So all of this is unveiling the little tiny things that we take for granted every day in our lives, that we overlook as a privilege, the tiny things that we overlook daily as an incredible privilege. Like, where does our food come from? How do we get it? I mean, I really love the reset, where people have to be mindful of where everything comes from, how it gets here, and where we can become grateful for things that we didn't have before. Like, when I get garbanzo beans, I'm going to be really excited. I haven't been able to get those. So, you know, it's the tiny things. All right, so now, most recipes ask for the wet to go in the dry, which I don't even understand why. But, okay, we're going to do that. I need a spatula for that. And we have in our wet, ladies and gentlemen, 2 eggs, 6 tablespoons raw extra virgin coconut oil, 1 cup of coconut sugar, a heaping teaspoon of vanilla, and 1/2 cup of pineapple juice. So that's going in our dry. No one has any insights on their gratitude. I don't see anything coming up on my screen here. This is what's happening. Are you guys tired of thinking that? So the wet into the dry. And my oven is preheating, I hope. Oh my God, my oven is not preheating. That is not good. Okay, so preheat to 350. 350. And then this is our gluten-free, dairy-free batter that's about to go and get on top of our pineapple, which if you used canned pineapple, you do not need to bake it off. And if you cut it thin, you don't need to bake it off. I cut it a little thick and I just decided bake it a little bit. Baked, not fried. You know what I mean, Sunny? Baked, not fried. Right, okay. So this is looking superb. And I am ready to throw it in my pan. A lot of recipes call for baking soda, which in this it would be good because we have pineapple juice, which has some acid in it, which would help it rise. Like apple cider vinegar or anything that has an acid in it will help your baking soda rise. But before we do all the good stuff, no one has a comment for me. All right, now I need to probably bring my pan. I'm gonna bring my pan, yeah. All right. Now there's so much oil in the bottom of here, caramelizing and looking so gorgeous, that I know it's gonna pop right out. But I'm just swirling some of the oil around just to be sure. And my pineapple is a little cooked, which is lovely. And my cherries are boozy, which is also good. Don't worry, kids. Don't worry, kids. It's gonna bake off. It'll be fine. And so I'm just gonna pour the batter over this, and think about a song. Does anybody have a song for me? Am I missing anything here? No. Stars, when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Do you know how I feel? I feel like you know how I feel. I feel like we're all going through a similar pattern together, which is so awesome. It's so awesome that we're all going through it together. I love that. Of all the things that could... Oops, my cherries are starting to lift. No. Okay. I want them to stay in place. I don't want them to move. And this batter seems a little bit thick. Why? I did 1.5 cups flour. I did all the things. Okay, we're going to find out. But I first need to make sure that it's at the edge of my 10-inch iron skillet, which if you're using a springform, that would be a 9-inch most likely. If you are using a pie pan, that's probably going to be an 8-inch, in which case this will be a little thicker. I'm going to see how this all goes down. This is my second trial. The first one came out gorgeous. We were celebrating how beautiful that came out. This one looks like I wish it had a little more batter, and I'm looking at it like, what's happening here? It's an experiment on my cooking show. What? Experiment. But everything is still here. It's good. It's going to rise. It's got baking powder. And I'm going to flip it out onto a dish for you guys after it bakes. And I'll have to think of an appropriate song for that. Nobody has guessed my song from earlier, so that means I guess I can sing more of it. What do you think, magical assistant? Yeah? Yeah? Okay, well, there's so much oil in this, I'm a little worried here. Okay, but this is what it looks like. So your batter, and usually you will not see the cherries. I am shocked that this batter is very thick. And I'm thinking it's because I maybe went with the Arrowhead Mills. We'll see. But anyway, I'm going to put it in. So we'll see what happens. And this is at 350. My iron skillet is a Le Creuset, so it can go into the oven. And it's going to bake for around 40 minutes, but I'm just going to check it. So I'm going to put it on 25. I'm going to put it on 25 and see what it looks like. Look at all the little pieces. Look at all the little pieces. Just a little and we're so close now. Push it to the edge and watch it all fall down. Just a little of your light so small. Put it all together, make it 10 feet tall. I give you a hint. Monica is watching. Yes! Monica, do you know the song that I'm singing? I'm wondering if you could guess it. I wonder if anybody out there can guess it. Who's watching? Rye, are you watching? Can you guess it? Just a little of your light so bright. No? Okay, well, every single one of you that's putting something out there right now, all of your energy and all of your love is contributing to everything that we're all experiencing now. So don't think that anything is too small, because every tiny bit counts at this point. Every tiny thing that you do for your community, for your friends, for your family, each phone call that you make to reach out to people, everything counts. And so that's why I've been singing that song, which nobody seems to guess, and in which case we'll be moving on then. Magical Assistant, do you have any ideas for songs at this point? Is it time for the impromptu jam? How many minutes have we been going? 40? Oh my God, okay. We're trying to keep it at 30, that's the idea. Just to make sure that we can do a recipe. I'm not trying to be Rachel Ray. Oh no. I don't want to lie to you and tell you that cooking is easy or convenient. Because convenience is a thing of the past, and also convenience is the problem that got us all into a lot of trouble in the first place. So there's nothing convenient about being healthy and eating well and cooking your food. But it is a love of yourself and a respect for your life and the blessing on this earth. So take the time to cook your food, because now you have to. Right? But hopefully everybody will learn from this experience that cooking your food is very important. And that convenience is not the answer. And even though each day may look like the other, and as we're rolling into one and then another, each day has a message for each one of you. And I hope you do the work to find out, and I know you do, that we're all discovering something, and it is a plan for us to uncover. I hope that you don't get too mad at your quarantini partner, if you're quarantining with somebody, that is. Listen, 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 listen close, and you may find the thing that you have been searching for, you has been there all the time. And I hope that we can come back together again. All of you who are out there, pushing for that. And as the sun starts to shine brighter and we're moving into super sunny springtime days, I'm going to flip this pineapple upside down cake, because we are all upside down, onto a gorgeous tray and send a message to all of you who are wondering what it looks like, who are wondering, hello Gilad, who are wondering what it looks like. It's cooking up good right now. It's just an experiment. It's an experiment, just like every single thing that we're doing right now is an experiment. And I'm hoping to get some insight from all of you on how you're all doing in this grand human experiment. Until the next time, please tune in to Just Add Heather and let me be a part of your quarantine times.